Hey everyone, welcome to a full timeout. Tonight's guest has been a SIPAG player since the late 90s. He was the Open Division MVP in NABA 99 in Philadelphia. Currently, he's a doctor of physical therapy, and he's also the CEO and founder of Solepack, a sneaker transport bag. I got mine right here.
Yes.
We want to welcome Mike Solid to the program. Hey, Mike.
What's good?
Mike, what's up, man?
Glad you could join us.
Hey, thanks for having us, man. I'll show the viewers what I just took off, man. My OG satin jacket, man.
That's a members only one, right?
Throwback, wow.
Jealous.
That's a great find.
Thank you, man. I just want to say, first off, man, thanks for having me. I appreciate what you guys doing, and it's always respect to those that came before me, man. That the Mythical 5 dudes and everyone that keeps the program going, man, and just sincerest condolences to everyone affected by COVID-19, man. So blessings to everybody, man.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, for sure, Mike. Thank you.
All right.
I just want to say thanks for getting on. I want to just cheers.
Cheers.
I like that jersey behind you, though.
Thank you, man. You want to see that right here?
That's a good look at that one. That Mitchell and Ness?
Yes, sir. I think it's like going on eBay for like $2,000. These
Ooh, dollars or pesos? Those are tricky on eBay. Oh, look at that. That's great. But yeah. So thank you again for coming on, Mike.
Of course.
Right off the bat, when did you start playing basketball? What are your early basketball memories?
Oh man, for me it started. I have 3 older brothers, so I was always a sponge and just taking. All right, that one's not an athlete. I'm not gonna do what he's doing. I'm gonna follow this guy that's a better athlete at this. But I started. We all started playing little league baseball, and little by little, that was just not my speed. So we just started basketball every day, man. My neighborhood. I pretty much picked up a ball when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old, and just started playing in the hood, man. And never really played organized ball. My elementary school at St. John Villa, we didn't have enough guys to make a basketball team. We had we played one year, then we shut it down, and we had 4 guys in my class, so it was a little tough, But we used to break into the gym and play, So I just started getting into the that basketball junkie mode from 9, 10, 11. Crazy, good stuff though, man.
So that's interesting. I had no idea that St. Johnville didn't have, at least back then, didn't have enough to field a team. But so throughout your childhood, what did you supplement it with besides baseball? We just you going in the park on your own?
Yeah, man. I was the guy in the driveway playing all the time. My parents in piano lessons, and I was always listening to the ball playing outside, man. I was like, I'm getting outside. I'm gonna mess up these piano lessons on purpose, man. And just spend all day.
I was gonna say, can you play anything?
Nah, man. That's for.
But the elbow jumper is pretty good, though, right? The elbow jumper should be good.
Mid-range, man.
So, Mike, when did you start with SIPAG?
Oh man, I have such fond memories, man. Same thing like Paul and Banjo referred to, like going into McKee, those yellow lights, man. You go up there, and it's a good day when Tita Tessa, man, has like the cantaloupe juice going. Man, I'm like,
oh, the melon.
But my earliest recollection was actually at Goodhue. Do you guys remember going to Goodhue, man?
I don't, but I remember seeing pictures somewhere in my house.
So that was probably my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
I started really going out playing more in public and organized ball, going to Farrell, and so I started playing there. And I rolled up. My contemporary group was like Paul Miranda. Shout out to Paul. Ryan Barrera, the Magalong brothers, and guys were starting to come from Brooklyn too, like Jet. I don't know, you guys remember Jet? He played for like LaSalle or something like that. Russell, all those guys.
Russell, yeah.
Yeah, Javier, yeah, for sure. So that's when we started doing the intercolors. Is that what they called the color intercolors that they had? Like Paul referred to, man.
Yep.
Right after Goodhue, they're like, all right, why don't you come check out Sundays with the intercolors? Like, all right. So I started showing up, and so this is like freshman year, and they just started splitting us up into teams, and like the older guys were there. I was on like that SIPAG B team, the Flyers team. We got like the Viscocho brothers, man. My brother Mark was playing, and just good times, man. Just seeing all you guys there, the family element of things, and just being welcome on board. Since I didn't grow up as a tyke or anything like that, and just just great to be there and just grind it out and play hoops, man, every Sunday morning.
Was that up until that point though? Was that your first time like being around or playing, basketball with Filipinos?
Yeah, pretty much. I think, I remember just being nervous going to that setting. My brothers played in it already. They grew up playing for other leagues like Poxy or am I allowed to mention other groups on here, man?
No, that's cool, man. It's part of history.
Yeah, man. I remember my brothers telling me, like, Tito Larry, your dad, taking them through at St. Peter's, doing, like, drills of, stations. You're doing all the stations, jumping up on the benches here, push-ups here.
The calisthenics and everything.
People are like, I remember my brothers used to make up, like, your dad called an obstruction foul on John Maglasang. He was like, what the hell is an obstruction foul, man? A lot of good stuff.
He might have had the Filipino handle.
Yeah. That's right.
It might be a different game.
True.
All right, Mike, we've had our prior guests talk about you as both a rival and a teammate.
Oh, man. Shit.
Talk about the early battles you had against SIPAG and then later being integrated into their system.
For sure. I'll tell you how I first ended up on another team, which is pretty funny. So, again, after, the intercity colors thing, I remember being, like, on the layup line, and Tito Larry came up to me. He's like, I think you'd be good on this team that's starting up in, North Jersey and Westchester. I was like, okay. I was like, wait, I can't play in Staten Island anymore. I got to go up to Bronx, North Jersey every Sunday. I was like, part of me at the time, I was like, all right, there must be a bigger picture here. I wasn't too happy at the time, but, looking back on things, I think it was the best decision just to, if your dad, bless his heart for, if you saw any talent in me, to see if I could lead another team. So I just started going over to Lemar, which is, it was based out of North Jersey. Mm-hmm. Or Bronx, Westchester, wherever, and I just started forming that team, and Chris Traumer back in the day, Ron Villalobos, my brother, Max Allen, a bunch of other guys, man. So we just had hungry team, the Cruz brothers, Aldo, and we just started practicing. We gelled a little bit, and just we started getting to the later rounds of playing SIPAG and the finals, and I guess we'll talk about that Clippers final later. But I had a lot of losses, man. It wasn't fun coming in second place. So it was always like I had my heart, like my soul was always with SIPAG, but, I had a little nomadic soul to go out there and test the waters with like 10,000 other teams, man.
That's interesting. Actually, I never knew that. And, I mean, honestly, now that you mentioned it, like, it probably gave you a lot more room to grow as an individual player. Being in that setting. And that's going to actually lead me to my next question. So you as a competitor, like JJ alluded to before, playing against, the five, like, describe that, not only just having, as a competitor, but also just being, on a personal note, knowing these guys or, being from the same island, what was that mentality like?
Man, it was
those summer battles.
I loved it, man. It was, intimidating at first, man. Like what Paul talked about, that press. You guys know that press, man. Yeah. When I first stepped on the court for another part of the team, I was like, motherfucker, am I allowed to curse?
Yeah.
It's like we're trying to bring up the ball, and just to get to half court, it was like 12-0 already. I'm like, man, all right. Uphill battles every time, but it really, SIPAG has taught me everything I do to this day, man. So it's like, you got to bring your A game. You got to constantly dedicate yourself to raise your level of play. In the battles, man, it just, being shipped out, kind of, so to speak, from my better, it kind of gave me a chip on my shoulder. So anytime I played SIPAG, of course, man, I wanted to go at these guys. Nothing but love, respect for they're like my bigger brothers, and they taught me everything from, just leaning on Paul. Paul Albano's always the one to teach me, keep the dribble in front of you. Chris telling me to shoot the ball all the time. And just like my family, man, I was like a sponge and just learning from what these guys did, like from how Rommel attacked the game, just quiet and just fucking killed the game. And everybody, man, and even Ben Fausto just always looking out for me during that first because that first NABA, when was that Washington, D.C., that one we won under pro? Was that 89, 90 or so?
That was after 90, like
91 maybe.
Might be
something like
91. Yeah,
91, 92. So
definitely early 90s.
Okay, yeah. So that was my first year playing up with the Open Division, man. It was, you got the Kumo D song going, man. I go to work and you got Edwin Duncan there in the foul line. Man, yeah, man, it was crazy. That was my first experience, and then I think after that, that's when I started going to the other teams and competing against SIPAG and NABAs and PABAs and whatnot. And yeah, I loved it. It just like you said, you competed as hard as you can, but when you came back in time to play with SIPAG, you're part of the brotherhood there again, the family. So good times.
So yeah, what was it like integrating back with SIPAG after those years with Lemar?
I don't know. For me, it seemed seamless, man. It's like those guys always welcome me back. It wasn't like I was like this foreign player on the team. It was always, you're one of us. Like, why do you keep playing for those other teams? But it was tough because you develop your relationships with these other teams that took you on, and you became like, say the lead player on the other teams, and you became a leader over there. So it was hard to separate myself and come back to SIPAG all the time. But it was, I loved it, man. Because the one thing that SIPAG taught me was the whole mesh work, the family, what it takes to win. Like you could drop whatever 20, 30 on another team, but when you come to SIPAG and really want to win championships, I remember crying the first time I won at the NABA. I forgot where we beat Chicago, whether it was in Chicago or whatnot. Man, I remember running to the locker room crying, man. That was like my first big championship, man. And that's when I knew it was okay to cry for SIPAG, because every year after that, I see all these little kids crying after their wins or losses. I'm like, all right, this is cool. This is the place to be.
No, definitely the culture. I think that's what once
Yes.
you immerse yourself in the culture, you get to really see and feel like the love. And the way you described it, though, I mean, yeah, I definitely I can understand how you would feel competing, against them, and then obviously put on the same jersey alongside of them. It's just like like you said, seamless.
Yes.
So can you take us back to maybe your favorite SIPAG memory?
Favorite SIPAG memory, man. Can I name two, man, or two or three?
Yeah.
Right.
We have time.
My first one was, it was, when did we win that championship at Manhattan College?
97.
97, right? So that was
the orange jerseys.
Yeah, those are dope, man.
Those are
fucking black and orange, man.
I still wear
I
mine.
remember playing, man. It was a good. We got to the championship, and I remember not playing 1 minute in the championship, man. I was like, "Yo, man, what's going on?" It's like I was upset. You get leading into great Buddah moments, man. That was we'll get to that later. But I was just, really upset at the time, like, because, part of it, because you want to contribute, right? To, that feeling of want to contribute to win, to the meshwork of the team. And, you think you're what do you call it? You think you have something to offer to the team. But after that, then I think that was a real lesson I learned. First lesson I learned of how important the team comes before the player. So I was, gave it a few days, and I was just fucking stoked that we won, and just made me come back a little harder. And my second SIPAG favorite memory was coming back in 99. Is that Philly? 99?
That's Philly, yeah.
99, 2000, and recapturing that, Benj broke that shit down, 100%. It was like 99 degrees every gym we were playing in, people slipping all over the court, man. And, Pat Pilar going down with the hip injury. It was Miguel there. It was crazy, man. It was a trip. And just getting to that, it was like hot and humid that day, and getting to the championship game Saturday night. We squeezed all the games into that Saturday or Sunday night. And just, I think I was named, that thing ended so late that people said, yeah, you won MVP, but there was no fucking, of course, that's the story of my life. I get the MVP and no one recognized it, but it's all good.
And that's right. Here it is, Mike. This is a platform.
Yeah,
but where is it?
Put everything.
Wait, hold the thumbnail.
The son he gave me this 3 years ago. He said he put the wrong date. He put 2000 Philadelphia, man. I was
man.
Man, it's not even real. But that game was crazy, man. It was like a lot of the games. I'm like in the zone. I kind of zone out when I play, and I'm either hot or cold. So lucky got hot for a few plays, and in that tournament it was just fucking crazy. That was that was the year that a lot of folks couldn't make it. It was the transition, like Benjamin said, when some of the younger guys were coming up. And just an honor, man. I remember Jerry telling us that summer to me and Banj. He's like, yeah, this is this is your time now, you guys. You guys got to, start taking over. We were at the Grosby house, and I was like, oh shit, man, this is, I was glad to be somewhat of that bridge the gap player to fill in those years, because there wasn't too many of us in the middle there. As like older Mythical 5 were getting older, and the younger guys didn't rise up yet. So I tried my best, fellas.
Oh, you did a good job.
No, man, you did it right, man.
Thanks, man.
But
Cheers.
just one more on 99. Oh, yeah, cheers.
Cheers to our sponsor, Killsborough. They're giving us free beer next time.
Okay.
Looking forward.
But we heard from Banjo on the previous episode. That 99 year was a lot different, a lot special for you guys. Your generation, because you guys felt like it was your time. Losing Saturday, and you again, for those who know NABA or any 2-day tournament, it's brutal to get out of the losers bracket. You having obviously being able to cap off a really good weekend. Take us into your mind and your mentality going into, after that first loss against Toronto Saturday, put you in the loser bracket, and then obviously climbing your way back to finishing the job on Sunday.
Yeah, man, it was really like just going back to it was a really team element, man, of, picking each other up and just battle, man. It's like, you talk about battling with guys, man, that was it. It was like guys were so sore after each game and, picking each other up, still diving after the ball, and just one possession at a time was the mentality, man, and doing whatever it took, because it was like, that feeling of exhaustion after losing that first game and knowing the uphill battle. It's I think the wisdom of having a few guys there, like I think Edwin was there, right? I think the Grosbys were there. I think Edwin was there primarily playing with us. I'm not sure but some of those guys, lent some of their wisdom of, one game at a time, and just one game at a time. And even my side, I didn't even realize till you guys said it the other day that no other NABA champion has won after being in the loser bracket, man. I was like, yo, that's pretty dope, man. I'm glad I have my 2000 trophy to stand for that, man. Yeah, but just that being at battle with the guys is stuff I'll never forget, man. I think it was special for me too. I had a few, of course, Linda was always there, just cheering with my family till like 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock that night, and we have to get back to a party, of course, at somewhere in the city that night in the heavy rain. So crazy, man. But yeah, that was great, man. I think a few other teams won that. Did how many other SIPAG?
That was actually that was our first one.
Yeah, because I remember there's cheering going on over there, man. It was dope.
Yeah, it was crazy. I think so. That year, our delegation provided 4 teams, and 3 of us came home with championships.
Nice, man.
It's that one team. That's what
We'll get those guys on.
Yeah, man.
We'll find out what happened.
Yeah, man, you gotta get everybody, man. It's a beautiful thing. I always thought this should happen, man. SIPAG deserved like a whole little section in the Slam magazine or something like that.
Hey, man, Lester Padilla, Patrick Bonawan.
Where you at?
Where you at, brothers?
Let us know what you guys need. But when you came back and was really integrated into the Open Division, Coach Buddah, Mike Plemenko was on the sidelines for you guys. Primarily during that time.
Yes, sir.
Obviously he's a big part of the organization, big part of JJ and I's development. Can you share with us, your favorite Buddah story or memory?
Oh man, there's so many. Buddah is one of those guys that makes you feel like you're he give you all that BS. He give you all that bullshit. Like, yo, Mike, come over here, man. You're one of my favorite players, man. I'm like, yeah, all right. I'm gonna go to the war for this guy, man. And I see him probably whispering that same thing to somebody right over there, man. But he's like you said, he wasn't an older father figure. It was a little different that he was like my an older brother. So I think that was going back to that tournament up in Manhattan College. Right after we lost. Right after we won. Mike came over to me saying, I wish I could have played you. I wanted to play, but, things didn't work out. And I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. Of course I was upset at the time, but, it really meant a lot to me that he, took his time after winning a championship and really, I don't know if I was giving off those vibes at the time that I was a little upset, but stuff like that, really meant a lot to me that, Mike was always taking you under his wing and, make you feel like you're one of his guys, man. So it's easy to go to battle for someone like that, man. So, rest in peace, Buddah, man.
Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah.
He's missed.
Yes, sir. It's crazy.
All right, Mike. You sent me a video talking about that championship game. I'll play a little bit of it.
So this is a little off-branding that the Mythical 5 guys were already the Brooklyn Clippers, right?
Walk us through before we
man.
Oh, man.
I can see the padding in my shorts there already, man.
Also, I'm gonna give a shout out to Jerry Grosby. Thanks for uploading this video.
Yeah, exactly, man. Jerry, bring these. I don't know if he cleared it up too, man. Such dope stuff.
Is this HD?
This is the Piscataway. This is the Piscataway Gym High School too, man. It's like hot as anything there too.
Oh man.
Before I started, just give us a background on what this game was.
This is one of those Keeney Loud tournaments in the summer, man. And again, we just Lemar was, coming to its peak there. I think we had we were practice heavily all the time in Yonkers again, and I'm taking those long trips from Staten Island to Yonkers all the time. Thanks again, Tito Larry, man. But just having Chris Traumer there, a lot of these guys, King Tixon, guys that were became part of the SIPAG family there. Ron Villalobos,
right.
Brother again. Dongalos, we meshed to a certain extent with the Cruz brothers. It was great, man. Again, another family atmosphere, and SIPAG is doing their thing, man. You look at these guys; they look like they're ready to look like college basketball players. Where I look like I just walked out of like a high school or something. My shoes are too big for me, and I remember getting these big ass Nike Air Force that were too big for me, and I was playing in them. It was a trip, man. But shout out to Richie Cruz is in. Richie Cruz in there too, man, and Romel doing his thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
All right.
It was great, man. It was of course, we were winning for a good part of the game in the beginning, and then then it happened.
They caught up. I forwarded to the first basket of the game.
Oh,
man.
man.
Just a quick clip.
Oh, there he is, Bernie Reyes.
Who's this?
Oh, look at that floppy hair.
Look at that elbow jump. What I just say? What I just say, Mike?
That's a patented Mike Sala floater.
Watch those elbows, and Mike has the on top of the key.
My hair was so floppy, man. I was like, some people's hair is floppy up in here.
Well, the Filipino look, that's for deception, Look like you're going one way.
Here's another
Good times, man. Good times, man. Yeah, look at that nice tan I got.
Look at that pull-up.
Oh, man.
Bank is open.
See, that's a rare footage there, man, of me not stepping on the line. That's what I was notorious for doing. Cool,
All right,
man. Thank you for sharing that, man. That's I
like that confidence at transition 3.
Yeah,
Thanks for
man.
providing it.
You missed a play right before that. I let Ed score with no defense on him. So. You're welcome, Ed. You're welcome.
I'll post the link to the video down below.
No, don't do it, man. Don't do it.
All right, I got some photos too, Mike.
Oh man.
Celebratory dinner.
Yeah, you see that? Oh, shout out to Linda. She still looks the same.
Yep.
Me and Miguel got the same outfit on. That's dope, man.
What was this? A Rabo?
I'm thinking the Jerry Rabo tournament, man. So.
Yeah.
There's Paul still doing the same thing.
You mentioned King Tixon standing up in the far back, white T-shirt.
Boods, man.
There's Coach Boots. Yep.
Crazy, man. Good times, man.
All right. This was Detroit, 2003 Detroit.
Yeah, shout out to Marco, man. Marco always, team player, man. Always respected what Marco brought to the table. The Sherwin, the Donia brothers. Will, Face, man.
Yeah.
Service, man. Respect, Will. Jojo Lega. Banjo. Who's all the way to the right there? Is that Eric Andre?
Yeah.
I think this pick is from Eric, man. So good shit, Eric, man. That year we won the championship too, right?
No.
No.
So we lost, and then we just partied after.
We partied like we won.
Yeah. You couldn't tell.
That's right. Oh man, is this the same? This is the same
couple
thing, right?
in the bottom right.
Oh man, they're never gonna make it, man.
Look at those kids.
Oh man,
Oh,
woo! It's the last time I see my face. Holy shit.
this was the year after. Oh,
Where is this? Montreal.
Oh, this is Montreal. Yeah.
Yeah. I played in my Hirachis, man. You see that? Oh shit!
Yeah.
I remember I got one of those banjo shiners too in this game, man. One of these games.
Oh man.
Yeah, shout out to the Clemente brothers up in here, Paul Ritchie.
Rich San Pedro, one of your
Yeah,
running
man.
mates.
That's right, man.
Oh,
Another
that's
running
right.
mate from another team, man. Nice. Sweet.
This was 05, the Rabo tournament. My
Alright.
first year play. No, sorry, not the Rabo tournament. The SIPAG tournament, NYABL.
Nice. Wow.
My
Yeah,
first
Now
year
you
playing
start to
open.
see the transition of like the younger generation like coming up. So it's crazy.
I thought you were gonna say.
So many faces I haven't seen in years.
I thought you were gonna say you start to see the transition of my waistline, man.
Well, from what I understand, this is the last time you shaved. So cut to today. This is.
Take a good look,
Like I
guys.
said, that was my first year playing open, and playing with you, it was such an honor. You were just calm and cool and collected on the court, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
Mid-range killer,
Yeah.
smooth jumper, man.
I remember you guys all used to make fun of me, like getting that little hop in my step right before I shot it, man. Like, oh, it's on. He got the hop.
It's coming up. He's got to shoot.
Got Leo.
This was a Rabo tournament.
This is the Rabo one.
Yeah, same year. But we
So
just
that 05. This is 05, right, JJ?
05, yep. I think
So that 05, CPUG swept every tournament that year, correct?
Yeah. Nice.
NYABL, Jerry Rabo, and then NABA.
yeah.
I don't know if was this the tournament. Me and Pat always have this great memory. Pat Pilar of. I don't know if you guys remember that, where I got into the lane and I did this, wraparound pass, like reminds me of like Mark Jackson and Ewing.
Oh,
Patrick went up.
Yeah.
I drew the defender. I wrapped it behind my back, and Pat got it.
I think he
And he
finished
tomahawked it, and he
Yeah.
cranked it off the back of the rim. And I was like, oh my god, that would have been the.
which is crazy because I think that's crazy. You remember? I don't know why I remember that, but yeah, I do remember like him missing because
Yeah.
obviously I just remember the crowd reaction. But
That's crazy,
Pat
man.
during warm-ups was just doing stuff like so
Yeah.
athletic.
Crazy. Man. Good times, man.
But thank you, Pat, frontliner.
Yes.
The nurse out there doing his thing. So
It's fine. I
Stay safe.
just bumped into him in Baraka like 2 months ago, man. Out of
Oh.
nowhere, man. It's pretty wild.
I mean, I can understand. You see someone who's 6'6" in in the beach. Yeah, it's either a coconut tree or it's.
Crazy. Oh man, look at that.
this is fresh, right? You just posted
That
this.
is
Holy
dope.
crap. Look at that low
That's
rim
awesome.
back there, man.
The
It's not
rims
photo-
look bigger on TV.
That's right.
Solepack
One of the
Pro.
pros are so good, man.
All right, so Mike,
Yeah,
it's,
so-
speaking of Solepack, just
Yes,
talk.
sir.
But by the way, thank you for always collaborating with CPUG and
Yeah,
doing
man.
our events.
For sure, man. Again,
Yeah.
these there's a reason why this is orange and blue, man.
Hey,
Those roots are deep, man.
So just just to pick your brain, can you talk a little bit about it? Like, how'd you come up with the idea, and is there anything new on the horizon we could expect?
What's that? Oh, for sure, man. There's always the grind is always on, man. It's I came up with Solepack because I used to play ball at NYU like every day back in the late '90s, and I was always running out of room to pack my kicks, man. So just had one of those moments on the S79 bus coming over the Verrazano Bridge, like I need a better way to carry my sneakers, man. And I started looking through the city. There's no bags around, so I just started cutting bags up and piecing things together, and there we have it, man. And then I started filing for a patent, and we got the patent, and here we are 15, 20 years later with the official NBA merchandise product, man. So it's fucking a lot of that. Again, a lot of that's all roots and never giving up, and staying dedicated to your craft. With a lot of CPOG had that influence since day one for me, man. So
how happy was it when your dad, who's also a doctor, found out that you wanted to make bags?
yeah.
Shout out
It was great,
to the
man.
rule.
Yeah, it was
That's
alright.
awesome,
I made it. I made it a.
That's a
slow
great story.
transition, man. I made it a natural transition out of the business since we were closing our business at the same time. I was like, all right, man, time for the next chapter, man. And same thing, man. It was just like being that ex NBA player that's looking for that next gig, man. For me, it's I knew I had to commit to something after my basketball days, and tying something in that's allowed me to, you know, work with NBA players now and have NBA merch is you know, it's a testament to everyone to not give up, man. So I appreciate all you guys for all that support, man. It's priceless, man.
Love the product.
Thank you, man. A lot of your shoes are in my videos, so in case you guys see size 8s Mambas, those are JJ's, and Sakai's are Mamba. And thank you, man.
All right, Mike, I got a couple of quick questions before we let you go.
Sure, sure.
Real quick, why do you wear your number 13?
Mark Jackson, man.
Mark Jackson.
New York City point guard. Shout out to New York City point guards, man.
Exactly. Yep.
What's your career high in points?
Career high? Jeez, I don't know. 32 maybe? Somewhere. I don't know where I scored that. Somewhere 32, 34.
Who is your NBA idol?
NBA idol? Jeez. I'd say Magic Johnson, Court Vision, Mark Jackson, The Little Flair, Bernard King, Tenacity, man. Back in the day, man. So old school guys, and
nice.
That's about it.
And last one, someone you want to see on this program.
Oh man, let's see, man. I'll take any of the Grosby brothers, man, or Roma, any of the Mythical 5 guy. I don't know if you got to that point, Chris, Paul. You got Paul, Chris, or
might be able to squeeze on them in,
or Santos guys, man. Without those guys, man, like you said, man, we wouldn't be doing this podcast. So you know,
for sure,
respect those guys.
Well, Mike, man, I always admired you from afar. You know, I always respected your game. JJ, you couldn't say it any better. You know, you were very calm, cool, collected on the court, quiet assassin. And like I said, those elbow jump shots, man, you gotta be aware. If you're on top of the key, you gotta be aware where you're going. But I just want to say thank you again. Thank you again for coming on.
Of course, man. Thank you guys, man. It was a pleasure and honor, man. Keep doing it, man.
On Instagram.
Follow on Instagram.
Mike, man.
Check out his product.
What's going on now? No, I'm just kidding.
Link in the bio.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, guys. Keep doing your thing, man.
On
Look
again,
forward
man.
to it, man. We could talk about this for hours, man. Keep doing your thing, man.
Of course.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, cheers, man. Kill on 3. 1, 2, 3. Kill.
Dude.
Thanks for watching a full timeout.
Peace.
Till next time.
You're